So I think that probably in a time of hardship, like we're in right now, when there's an economic downturn like there is right now in America, the obvious things come into play. Fear. And when people get afraid, they cut to safety or what they think is sexy or charismatic. Just entertain me. Just make me thrilled or laugh or something. But don't ask me to think too much. Don't show me anything that is as bad as things really are. Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes it kind of hard for filmmakers, because if they want to make a film about some real story being told, and the studio is into the mode of, well, let's give them a happy ending. It's going to be tension. There's going to be complication. But I believe it is alive and well. I just think it's harder to get the films made because of the political climate we're in.
Yes, we're going to talk about that in a second.
All right.
But, it's continuing.
You're going to talk about it. I'm just going to sit and listen.
Okay, all right.
I'm in enough trouble as it is.
Well, this goes out in Spain. Don't worry, you won't have trouble in Spain. You can say whatever you want.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes, oh, yes.
I remember the Spain that you couldn't.
Oh, yeah, that was 25, 26 years ago.
Well, I was there.
You were there?
I was there when the Guardia Civil was standing behind trees and things like that.
Wow. So you lived in Spain that long ago. What were you doing?
I lived there in 66 was when I was there, yeah. I lived there in 57 for a little while when I was an art student in Paris, and I went down to Mallorca. Discovered the island of Mallorca, and then to Barcelona. I fell completely in love with Spain, maybe because I grew up in Los Angeles in a Mexican, Spanish-American environment. And they were my neighbors. They were the people I grew up with. And I had a tremendous affinity. So when I went to Spain, I felt completely comfortable. I just didn't know at that time that there was a difference between Mexican and Spanish. So when I asked I said, give me an enchilada.
Yeah.
They brought me a salad. I said, what's this? Enchilada. But I love Spain.
Yeah. When you were there, that was a pretty rough time. There was censorship, which...
that's what I mean. That's why I say I'm surprised that I can say...
Yeah. There's more censorship maybe in the United States now, wouldn't you think?
I do, yes. Dangerous. It's not good.
Yeah. Going back to Sundance, you were saying it's independent and it's important that it stays away from mainstream. But now, with people like Oliver Stone, Al Pacino coming here, it seems like the people that are very, very famous, that already have success, they want a piece of the independent action to get credibility. And at the same time, I'd like to know how you're going to stop Sundance from becoming more mainstream.
Well, Sundance is not... exclusive from mainstream. There's some independent work within the mainstream, and we want to be careful that we don't get too ideological about independent film. The thing that makes independent film independent is maintaining the vision of the artist, so they can tell the story they want to tell the way they want to tell it.
Yeah.
That's where the independent. I don't think independent can be attached to a particular film. Any other sense that you keep your work independent from any formula, any dogma that is forced on you by any controlling, whether it's the business of the studios or the government or anything else, that you're free from that and you're allowed to use what is the greatest asset this country has, which is freedom of expression. And you use that through film work. So you say, as long as I'm free to tell the story my way, that's what independent film is. So for Oliver, for Al, if you look carefully at their careers and who they are as individuals, they're pretty, particularly Oliver, he's a pretty independent guy. And his work has run the range from films in Guatemala, Salvador, to Platoon, he's usually very concerned about controlling forces and so forth, and what's the truth behind it. Al is just such a consummate actor. If you look at his work, he's done little films, big films. The people I know, the film that I've executive produced, very hard to get made. Very hard to get made. And then once it was made, the studio, Miramax was actually unsure about how or whether to release it because it was dealing with a subject that was rather unattractive about American subculture. It's the truth. So,
where do you think the American film industry is going? What direction do you see it going? And when you see the movies that are being released, the American movies being released, what do you think? What do you feel?
well, first of all, I think the mainstream has accepted that independent film has a role to play in the overall scheme of things. And the way independent film earned that was by making money. Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Yeah.
Other films. Now there are many, many more that come on a regular basis. In fact, ironically, they win Academy Awards. That tells you there's not the separation any longer between mainstream and independent. But the way it was closed was that independent film started